designated MC. I am Teresa de Buque. I am the National Information Officer of the United Nations Information Center in Manila. So I would like, on behalf of my colleagues here at UNIC, Mari, Chat, Flor, and Mafi, we would like to thank you on behalf also of our co-organizer, the Legal Management Society of UST, for including this Human Rights Defenders Forum in your month-long observance of human rights. Not coincidentally, this forum has also been scheduled today, which is World AIDS Day. So that is not an accident. We intentionally scheduled it today so that we would be able also to observe World AIDS Day. But before I go on, I would like to acknowledge all the work that has gone into organizing this forum, particularly on the part of the Legal Management Society, its officers and members. But I'd like to give special mention to Virgilio Tax Dolina, your Vice President for Internal Affairs, because he has been indefatigable in coordinating with us for the past month and a half. Thank you, Tax. For this year's observance of International Human Rights Day, the United Nations has adopted the theme, as you can read, Speak Up, Stop Discrimination. Why is discrimination an obstacle to the fulfillment of human rights? For us Filipinos who have had a long history of political dictatorship and military rule, we often think of human rights advocacy, or we often equate it with the prevention of arbitrary or illegal arrests and detention, and protection against the deprivation of life, liberty, and other freedoms. But there is so much more to human rights. Human rights, like Dr. Lopez said, is inherent to all human beings, whatever our nationality, place of residence, sex, ethnic origin, color, political affiliation, religion, language, or any other status. Human rights are inherent to us, and by that I mean that we do not need to do anything to earn them. Human rights belong to us by virtue simply of being human beings. They are inalienable, which means they cannot be arbitrarily taken away from us, except under extraordinary circumstances, like if you've been involved in a criminal act, but only after due process. Human rights are guided by other principles. I've already explained to you the principle of universality and inalienability. The other set of principles are interdependence and indivisibility. This principle could probably best be illustrated by describing human rights as a bundle of rights. We have several rights. We have civil and political rights, which includes the right to free speech, the right to life, equality before the law. We also have social and cultural rights, such as the right to education, the right to work, and the right to cultural expression. There are also collective rights, such as the right to development and the right to self-determination. Now, these rights form a whole, okay? The improvement of one right facilitates the advancement of the others, while the deprivation of one right adversely affects or diminishes the impact of other rights. The other principles of human rights, which are the focus of our forum today, are equality and non-discrimination. The principle of non-discrimination applies to everyone in relation to all human rights and freedoms, and it prohibits discrimination on the basis of a list of non-exhaustive categories such as sex, race, color, among others. I say non-exhaustive because this is a long list. There is no limit to the number of categories that we could name. The principle of non-discrimination is complemented by the principle of equality as stated in Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. It is to underscore the importance of promoting equality and non-discrimination in the fulfillment of human rights that we are holding this forum today. We have chosen 3 sectors of Philippine society that are not most vulnerable, but are often vulnerable to discrimination and have suffered historical social injustice. And at the same time, we have identified 3 human rights defenders, as we call them. These are really advocates that have a nationally acknowledged track record in promoting the rights of the sectors that they belong to. Indigenous peoples, persons with disabilities or PWDs, and people living with HIV/AIDS. I know that you all have with you a copy of the program, which will show you how this forum is going to flow. We have prepared a short audiovisual presentation on each of our human rights defenders to introduce them to you, and then we will call them up to give you a short message. But before they give you their message, we will be requesting the Vice President for External Affairs of the LMS, Camille Palma, to present the plaque of recognition to our defenders before they deliver their message.